Okay, let's address this question that came up around essentially why do men overthink when it comes to dating? And look, I think the broader question would be why do men overthink? But let's just focus in on dating, and I'll say the shortest of answers to start with is this: the fear of rejection. But what happens for a lot of guys is we get stuck there, right? What if they don't like me? What if I'm rejected? What if I'm embarrassed? What if I fail? And this is what men do in a lot of our lives, is that we get stuck on the thing on the surface. But what our real task is to dig beneath that. And so fear of rejection actually requires us to ask, what would I be making rejection mean about myself? I.e., what story am I creating about myself if I am rejected? Now, I know this very real. I've been in this place. I was in this place massively when I was a younger dude. In fact, this is kind of the exact content and area of my life that really stimulated a lot of growth, because I realized, oh my God, I'm terrified of rejection. I'm making it mean all this stuff about myself. And all that is story in my head. I am in my own way. And so actually the story I chose to tell myself was, first of all, dude, you need to get out of your own way. Not everything is about you. Rejection is maybe hurtful, but there's a lesson in that. And so I chose to change the story, that rejection meant nothing about me, that me and that person weren't right for each other, not right now, and there's another opportunity for me to go and approach another woman, put myself out there, meet someone new, whatever it is. So I think the big thing in the way of men and dating, and where we get into overthinking, is creating stories around what rejection might mean about myself, around what being wrong or it not being right or me failing at this might mean about myself. I mean, this is a broader concept for a lot of guys, fear of failure, but it's not failure so much, it's what you're making failure mean, or what you would make failure mean if you were to fail. And so we get into an overthinking spin of trying to think of all the outcomes, and then what if this, and then we play out on the conversations and the scenarios and the situation. It doesn't fucking happen. You can't do that. We say masturbating and all these stories. And so the overthinking is a place that we feel comfortable because we don't like coming into our heart and into our feeling body, right? We're comfortable in the thinking. It's a very hyper masculine place of logic, reason, right, rationale. But the thing is, dating involves your heart, and you can't outthink emotions. And so what a lot of guys are trying to do with rejection is there's going to be some hurt, some pain there. I'm going to try and avoid that by thinking my way through and over it and around it, and it doesn't quite work. So what it requires, gentlemen, is to actually locate your balls and to step into the dating world, be it asking someone out on a date, third date, fifth date, whatever it is, saying to someone, you know what, I really like you and I'd like us to go exclusive, and really start seeing each other on a more serious note, let's say. Finding your heart and saying, this is what I think, this is how I feel about you, and I would like this to go further. And the risk of hurt and pain, that is the price of admission. Overthinking won't get you out of that. Over-rationalizing is that you have to take a risk. And of course, in there is the reward. So address rejection, what you're making rejection mean about yourself, the idea of what potential pain and hurt and upset that you're trying to avoid, that you're trying to out-rationalize, and allow yourself to feel the thing. And the thing is, we might be kind of anchoring back to a previous hurt. And a relationship ended, that hurt, that was terrible. So we make up these stories around, I'm fine being single, I don't need a partner, I'm good playing the field, don't really want anyone. All those become overthinking stories, again, to out-rationalize why I don't need to put myself out there again. Again, to try and avoid some feeling that I probably haven't allowed myself to feel yet, right? So we often overthink, create stories to try and avoid a feeling. Hopefully there's something in there, in that for you. Gentlemen, if you're overthinking in your life, careful. Thinking is useful, being lost in thought, generally not.